Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Poncho here. Welcome to a special episode 27 of Cookups and Convos with Westchester Media. I fucked it up again. Westchester Media. How do I say this?
Well, Westchester Media Conglomerate.
Conglomerate? Nah, I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say. Honestly, fuck it. We're gonna keep going. Arden, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. Happy to be here, bro. For real, man.
Absolutely. So Arden is one of the very few people in the 914 that's on the media side of the industry. And I have a bunch of questions to ask you about. One, just how that even came about. Well, first of all, what is the name of your media platform?
It is Fourside. Fourside for short. You can know us as the Fourside Network as well.
Hell yeah.
But we're Fourside, man.
Hell yeah, Fourside, that's what it is. So how did Fourside even come about in the first place?
Yeah, so Fourside originally came as a name during the summer of 2015. And it came for two reasons. One, as some folks who know me as, I'm a huge Drake fan. And around that time, Drake had successfully made the world call Toronto the six side. So that was always a thing, like, yo, if you going to Toronto, it's like, yeah, I'm going to the six side, Facts. Six, whatever, right? So it was something for me. I was like, yo, that's a really cool nickname. And of course, the latter reason being I'm a proud Westchester native. Like, I've grown up in Westchester my entire life. Like, I'm from White Plains, but I grew up on the south side of Yonkers for like over 10 years. I lived in New Rochelle for a bit, and plus made friends and traveled all over the 914. And I was like, for as much as I do like calling Westchester the 914 and other variations of the name, I was like, I want to come up with my own name. And that's where
it's definitely innovative, and it's catchy. That's the one thing I noticed right away when I saw it. Yeah, it rings.
Yeah, man. So it's just I came up with the name, and along that time, I became good friends with my fellow Fourside co-founder, Wills. Salute to Wills, because we had became friends while he was working at Crunch Fitness in White Plains. And we had always bonded over music and professional wrestling. It was always those two. Like, every time I check into the gym and we'll see each other, it was always a brief conversation about either topic. And I've always been working in media for a while. I've been working in media professionally since I was 17. Wow. So I'm going on 10 years.
What were you doing back then?
So back then and even now, I still work in sports media too. So I've done a lot in sports media. I've been a sports writer that has his own platform and have written for bigger platforms. I did TV, I did online radio, I did podcasting. But I always wanted to go into music, to do music media, because the same way I've loved sports all my life was literally the same way I've loved music, especially hip-hop. So I knew I wanted to get into that, but I was like, I don't want to do it on my own. So December of 2015, I hit up Wills with the concept. He was down. 2016, I told him the name, like, yeah, bro, I got this nickname I've been calling Westchester Fourside. And he was like, I'm all for it. And I remember we had a crazy snowstorm in January of 2016. It was probably one of our last crazy snowstorms. And I love working in Starbucks, speaking of coffee house, which we're above right now.
Thanks.
And I remember I went out either way just because I can't stay inside. And I remember hitting up Wills during this crazy snowstorm. I was like, yo, bro, you want to meet up with me right now to do the podcast? And at the time, he was laying with his girl, and his girl's hearing the conversation. And Wills is trying to, like, get his way out of it. Like, he's even going as far as saying, like, yeah, bro, I think it might take me an hour just to get there. Mind you, he lives like maybe 10 or 15 minutes away from where I was at. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll wait. I'll wait. And then his girl's like, at the time, was like, just meet him. He's already there. And on January 23rd, 2016 was episode 1 of the Fourside podcast. And we've been at it ever since.
That's fine.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You said something interesting, though, how you were in sports media before Fourside really came about. Did you completely abandon sports media?
No, I'm still at it to this day. So even as I've been building up Fourside, my sports media career has been going and it's been thriving. So it's like I have my own platform in sports media called AST, which is short for Arden Sports Talk.
AST.
And I use that to cover all sorts of high school, collegiate, and professional sports all over the country, but especially within the Northeast. And within that success of building it into a multi-million view platform.
Really?
Yeah, that's been able to cover various NCAA, NBA, MLB, NFL, NCAA events.
There you go.
I also was able to write for USA Today, SB Nation, Slam Magazine, and Zag's blog. I fingers crossed maybe having another opportunity soon as an on-air talent and producer for another big platform. So even as I've been cooking up with Fourside and building this up, I'm still going strong with my sports media career too.
That's fine. Which one do you enjoy more?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, I enjoy both a lot, but I guess if I have to lean towards one, honestly, right now it's been music, because, and I guess we'll go into it further throughout this conversation, but building Fourside is bigger than just building a media platform. It's like I really look at this as a life-changing opportunity to really do a lot, not only for me, but for the people around me, for the awesome people that's around Westchester and soon to be just around the entire world that's involved in our culture, man, of hip-hop and R&B. So I love my sports media. I mean, that's something I can do all day, every day, but I definitely have had to put in a lot of hard work, yet I've had greater results for what I've been doing with Fourside so far on the music side.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's what's up. So, when you're coming up with either articles to write, things to talk about, things like questions that you wanna ask people, like, what does your research process look like? Like, are you studying things people say about them as a person, their social media? Like, how do you? Let's say someone hits you up and says, "Hey, I want to interview from Fourside." What are your next immediate steps?
Well, after that, along with after me agreeing to do it.
Thanks. Wait, before you answer that, do you turn down a lot of interviews?
Yeah, I have so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even with that though, real quickly, it's not really about somebody not being good enough. Like, it's not like Fourside is one of those platforms where it's like, oh man, your numbers, who you are, isn't good enough to be on our platform. It's like, who are we to do that to people? Even if it is all right, it's just more about the fit, because we have different platforms within our platform to interview people on. So sometimes it's just, hey, you could be a good interview. It's just we can't really find it right now, or we just don't have the time, you know?
Yeah.
But in terms of research wise, nearly everybody who I've ever interviewed or brought on board to be interviewed, even if it's not by myself, but by, our other team members, Wills, AK, Taylor, Gianni, or any interns that are with Fourside, I usually already have a good understanding of who they are. So whether it's me doing an interview with them or not, it's just all about following up, looking for little tidbits, looking for things I may not know, and then it's just all about putting together the best game plan for the interview. It's not necessarily a question by question plan, but it's more about, okay, if I was interviewing you, which I literally just did before this, but like if I was to interview you in a more formal sense, it'd be like, okay, this is what I already know about Poncho. All right, let me look more into this. Or if these are the things I know about Poncho, what do I really want to learn about more? And how can I break that down? So Cookups and Convos is, okay, well, let me find maybe a couple things to ask about Cookups and Convos, whether it's direct or broad. Producing-wise, the same method. So a lot of the people who I've always interviewed or in the process of securing an interview for my team, I already know very well about them. It's just all about putting together the game plan to understand, like, all right, what is the thing that the Fourside audience should know about this person? What is the thing that I know this person really wants to plug? And also making sure, and this is really the most important thing, that the interview, for while it's an interview, it's not necessarily feeling like an interview. I like interviews.
Making it feel like a conversation.
Exactly. That's something I learned during the early stages of my sports media career, studying Bill Simmons, which was through his writing, I didn't feel like I was reading something. I felt like I was talking to somebody, because I'm hearing the voice in my head react to things, and I can like hear his voice as I'm reading his piece, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, over the years, when you watch or read and study more interviews, you get to that point as well, where it's like the conversational feel. You just want to keep it going and have it be maintained that way. So that's the best way I could describe it.
Interesting. I like that. That's interesting.
Thank you.
Never heard that before. So, music is a pretty broad world, I would say.
Yeah.
But from the outside looking in, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like Fourside really specializes on 914 and the local artists that are inside of it.
100%.
What is it that drew you into working more with locals as opposed to reporting on artists that are already popping, like, or just anything big right now?
I would say it's the fact that there's true talent here. There's true talent across our neck of the woods, man, in Westchester. And it's also about the fact that somebody has to do it. Somebody has to be willing to shine a spotlight on the incredible talent that's here. So it started off.
Fact. And
yes.
I feel like y'all dominate that lane, low key.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. It's just more about consistency. You know, consistency is always key. So even back when it was just the podcast, it was just all about the fact of being like, look, there's so much talent from around here and folks who deserve to tell their stories more than anything. And with the pod, it was a mix of that along with, hey, we are talking mainstream stuff, have some fun and talk about this mainstream stuff. But with certain concepts that we've developed over the last couple years that's been launching, you know, the Punch in our in-depth interview series, the fact that with articles, we've done interviews that have been converted. Fourside Daily, which we did our first season in last spring, that within 2 months got nearly 10,000 views. That was something in which that was a lot of fun to do because it was about connecting with the artist or any sort of talented creator from here and giving them the platform just to speak, especially during that time of the pandemic in which people were lost. Like, people wasn't really talking or knowing what to do. Yep. So it's always goes back to shining a spotlight on the artist, man, and realizing, like, look, the talent is here. The talent is here. It will be here. Let us be the platform that helps them out. So along with the interviews, Fourside Volume playlist. We got 8 editions of that, doing that for artists. You know, we just started doing the weekly playlist, a la if you're an Apple Music or Spotify listener. We got that in the tuck too. So it's, Westchester's a big motivation for us serving that area, but in general, our motivations with serving Westchester artists and creatives are also the same for if you're across the tri-state, if you're across the nation, and ultimately if you're across the world.
That's fine. That's dope. Okay, hell yeah. So, I know my next question. So, a lot of people feel like blogs and media just isn't what it used to be and doesn't have the same impact that it used to have. And a lot of people sleep on blogs. Like, they're just like, why would I focus energy on a blog? How do you feel about things like that? First of all, do you feel like that's true, that it isn't as prevalent as it was back then?
I think blogs are incredibly relevant. It's just all about how they do it. You know, it's all about how they cover culture and the people.
Like how they present their content?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I think for Fourside, honestly, I want people to understand, even those that have been in tune with Fourside, that, and this is not to just, talk that talk or be cocky, but we're not your average blog because we're not a blog. And we're not just your typical media platform. With what we're building at Fourside and with me as the head honcho leading the way, I'm building the next Netflix, but for hip-hop and for our people. That's why a lot of the shows that people are seeing, if you really think about it, and if folks that have been in tune with Fourside see it, it's unveiled differently. It's rolled differently. We're not just, and again, this is not a slight, but we're not just cooking up just to cook up or just like, yeah, here's something here and there, boom, 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 boom. Like, no, there's a reason why we're doing this. There's a reason why there's an inside the studio, and today I had to tap in with Poncho and see what's up.
Out here.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Or why we have these new shows, or why sooner than later we'll have docuseries and documentaries actually coming out, because it goes deeper than just typically reporting on what's happening in the news today or what's the latest development. It's the fact that we want to give something to the people that's deeper and better than what is usually out there. But blogs are always relevant. There's always going to be a lane for people to report on the culture and report on the news and to do what they do. It just always comes down to, again, who's presenting it the right way, you know? And there's certain blogs and platforms out there that are more traditional news that are doing a great job. Some are mighty trash, and some are in between. You know, I give kudos to them all. I just know we're not the same. You know what I mean? But, I mean, that's how I feel about it.
I respect that. So adding on to something you said before, too, like, you guys do a lot of shows.
Yeah.
You have a lot of different shows. Could
Yes,
you talk about them for a minute?
Hell yeah. But, yeah, like, the shows, you know, For us, the reason why the shows have been going the way it's going, and I'm happy, again, you guys got a lot of shows. I'm happy even that's being recognized because that's what any network does. You feel me? Whether we want to talk Netflix to TNT and ESPN, whatever, like any network that is in a position to create and distribute content has a large library of content. So it's all about the fact that, all right, we want to do this, but how do you look at it over the course of the year? So maybe this changed the minds of people that have been following along with the Fourside Network, but it's the fact that, listen, we got our yearly mainstays. The Fourside Podcast is a yearly mainstay. Every week, you'll see the boys do what we do. But then it's a matter of whether it's on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, you'll have these other concepts come about that happen to come during certain parts of the year, just like any other network does it. So there's the Commission, our new discussion show that we just launched. There's the Inside the Studio. There's the Punch-In. There's Fourside Presents, our own live performance series that we're doing now. There's new shows that I can't speak on publicly yet that are nearly done that'll be dropping in the coming months. So it's all about the fact that we have all of these concepts within this network that go beyond just being segments or just typical news reporting stuff that give you different ways to look at Westchester culture or our culture across the nation or the world via this. And I think that's been the best part about doing it. I think that's been the best part why our network has been growing the way it's growing, because people are seeing there's a deeper criminal link, so to speak, to Fourside content. It's not just some segments here and there, and not to diss anybody that does segments, but these are not just segments. Like Inside the Studio is not a segment. Inside the Studio is a true show that has a season, that has a purpose and a plan, that once we body this first season, it will go to bed and then it'll come back for season 2. And that's what it is for this, a lot of the content that we have there.
Hell yeah. I know a lot of people feel like there's an argument that creators in general should focus on maybe one or two things, really lock in and, you know, really make that their thing. Like for me, I focus on my main focus is Cookups and Convos. Like I damn near stopped making beats to do that. You do the complete opposite of that. Do you ever feel like sometimes you may be spreading yourself too thin, trying to take on 5 shows plus the podcast plus everything else you do, the sports?
The reason why I'll say no is because I had to work to get to that point. You feel me? Like I was telling you, like I've been working in media since I was 17, literally. Like not on some, occasionally blog or do whatever. I'm talking 17. By the time I was 19, 20, I was in the trenches with grown men covering events and doing what I was doing in there. So it's not, again, I'm not really the guy that talks his talk or do whatever, but it's like I'm a different breed when it comes to working in media, because like I've started earlier and I've had just a different experience. So for me, the reason why it's no is because, again, I had to work from that plan of, okay, let me focus on this and earn the right to take on 2, to take on 3, to take on 4. I had to work through my evolution as a creator in the worlds of sports and music media to get to the point where now for me, it's like, hell yeah, I want to take on as many shows as I can because I have the foresight and the energy to want to do that because I've worked on it. There are certain people who try to do that and they rightfully, yes, I'll say it, rightfully fail because it's like you never really worked through that progression. You didn't
talk about it.
Yeah, like you didn't focus on. It's like artists who think, yo, I could drop 2 or 3 projects in a year. No, you can't. You're not Future. You're not these guys who worked on making sure that the one album or one project they gave a year was fire and was what it was before they moved on to 2 or potentially 3, or even if it's not within a year, delivering a certain number of projects that's higher than usual within 2 or 3 years. And that was me. I worked to get to that point where, yo, I know that I can handle this. I know that I'm willing to be patient. And that's been a fun thing about this. I've learned what it means to be patient and to think more ahead.
This shit is a marathon.
With content. Exactly. Yeah. It is a marathon. Word to Nip. Like, it's that case of it. So for me, it's easier to do it now because it's not like I'm trying to do 5 or 6 shows at the same time. A lot of the shows that people see on the Fourside Network that's airing, those things are already in the tuck. That's July. That's August. That's May. That was being cooked up in the oven in February. That was drawn out. That even for somebody like me that works on my craft every day and from his sports media career could cook up and release every day, literally, I had to learn how to be patient and keep that in the tuck. So it could shine in August, September, October, and soon to be later this year. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like, other than going through the progression of knowing what it means to work and finding your voice and all that stuff, I also learned patience. Me learning patience and how to develop these concepts and do what I do put me in a position where now you're looking at the honcho that could create all of these shows and speak with other creators about getting them to distribute their show to Fourside, that can make some heat and pitch it to another platform. Because it's like, I was in the lab cooking this up before it was even presented. So at this point, this is literally a breeze doing this because I worked at it and I found my voice and I know how to do it.
Okay. Respect that. Damn. All right. I respect that. You said another thing I want to elaborate on. You said because you have the drive and motivation. Not exactly what you said, my interpretation. What does, I mean, I know from running Cookups and Convos, like this shit is work. Like repurposing clips is work. Yeah. Shooting all the time is work. Editing is fucking work. What keeps you motivated to even push through all that?
To know that it's working. In all seriousness, to know that it's working. And this is something too, man, I tell people all the time. You know, we grew up in a generation where instant gratification is crazy. And we've seen people blow up, and we've seen people do this, that, and the third. And it's very easy for that to influence us to be like, man, I can't wait to get on. I want to do this, that, and the third. And it's just a matter of progress never stops. Like, everybody is progressing to where they want to get to until the day we all die. Progress never stops. Like, even those that make it to the top, you think that's the end of the story? No.
I don't believe there is a top.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I genuinely don't. But
and honestly, with the way it is when you're really working throughout your career, you may be right in that. Because even when you think you reach the top of a mountain, there's another one to climb. Yep. There's another one to climb. So really it's just you're happy to reach another level. But it's all of these things that are happening to where it's like, yo, you just got to be patient and know what it means to stick with it and know that it's working. I've never been a creative that was often championed online. Like, I never had people really blow up my mentions on Twitter or Instagram. Like, yo, Arden done did it again. I never really had, like, the viral moment where I got hundreds of this and that, like hundreds of retweets or something on Twitter or tens of thousands of views or whatever on Instagram. I've never been that guy. But I know it's working because for a while I don't get that. And that's not to say, like, look, I've gotten love on social media and I'm appreciative of it. I've gotten support, but I ain't get that type of love. The love I usually get is when somebody meets me in person or sees me in person and they suddenly could tell me my entire moves step by step because they've been watching and studying the boy. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I get that type of love. How does that feel
when you hear things like that?
It's very humbling. And it's the reassurance I need to know, like, yo, it's working. And just understand, like, everybody gets love differently. Everybody's love and support comes differently. Some people get all that online love but don't get as much of it in person. I'm just the opposite of it. You feel me? Like, I don't really get a lot of love online, but in person, folks will tell me and dap me up and be like, yo, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But it's just, that is what gives me the reassurance to know, yo, bro, it's working. Keep going. I don't really play into the numbers, but like, yeah, I see the numbers starting to grow up. All right, bet, that's lit. Oh, this person's following me. Or we made this move. Like, yo, it's working. You feel me? Like, I'm able to wear my company on my chest.
Fourside merch. Fourside merch. Where could they get that? Where could they get that?
FoursideNY.com. Fourside merch. Hell yeah. But what it is. It's just the fact that it's working, man, because of the work that's being put in. And just the reassurance from the people, man. It didn't mean for that to be long-winded, but it just is what it is.
Perfect answer, and that's hella motivating. So, cool. I got to reset that camera. So I am curious about the inner workings of Fourside and how you view them in a sense. So, like, what are you most excited to work about in Fourside at the moment?
Man, the most exciting thing right now is the fact that I'm bridging the gap between what we're doing in media and what we're actually going to do in music. So I can actually tell you about the music because depending on when this drops, more than likely when this drops, our first music project will be out. So Fourside now.
Wait. I'm sorry. Do you mean like Fourside, like when like artists recording and then dropping it under like Fourside's name?
Yeah. So
that's fire.
Yeah. So pretty much, Fourside as a company, we're getting to the point where now we're gonna have our media efforts for Fourside Network, and now we're gonna have Fourside Music, which is the label, the house. So, like I was saying, like the time this drops, you would have heard our first, I would say, actual music project. So we got a special mix with the good brother DJ Supersport. Salute to him. He was out here in White Plains for a bit, DJing, doing raps and receipt shows and stuff. He's a really talented DJ. So we got a special mix that's dropping on October 2nd called Slow Down Grind, which is chopped and screwed records, slowed down over R&B, rap, drill, grime. And then at the end of the month, we have a special full-length project that's dropping, an R&B tape. And it's actually going to be like our first true release on streaming platforms.
That's fire.
Yeah, man, thank you. And it's something that we've been working towards because, again, like, we've had the Fourside playlist, Fourside volumes 1 through 8. That was for the artists from around the area or anybody that's just cooking up and doing what they do. Then we got into the weekly playlist series, which we're not even a month into doing. Fourside Presents, our live performance series, we just uploaded the playlist for the first 2 acts that we had on that. Salute to Jordan Ariel and Jalen Taylor. So we've been in the music space, but now it's becoming more official in terms of like, yo, let's put this under the label, Fourside Music. Bomb. And let's put together some projects. And that's what we're trying to do moving forward. Like, definitely put together like these dope compilation projects. If it comes down to potentially having some artists, we'll see.
Like signing artists?
Yeah. I mean, which is possible. I definitely think me and Wills and AK will be some great label heads and great people just to work with and stuff. Not work for, but work with. Facts. To put people in that next position.
I'm sorry. I'm so happy you said that. I really don't like when people that lead organizations view their employees as people that work like for them. Like, y'all are a team. This is how I view it.
Of course.
Like,
I feel the same way too. Like, even if it is technically like, yeah, you do work for me, but it's like we're working together.
Yeah.
Like and it's also too like I never been humbled by somebody. Because I usually do a lot of the humbling myself, but it's still the matter of, even if I know I can do this task, I know you'll do it better than me. So I need you.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
And you need me, Because regardless of what the context is, like, yo, I came to you or you came to me. Either way, we're here. So let's just make this work. Like, it's going to benefit both of us in whatever way it benefits us both. And we're working together. We're working with each other. So, yeah.
What were we talking about before?
I think it was just like the what
Oh yeah, what are you excited about? Yeah, what are you excited about?
So of course on the media side, like shows, like we got some dope shows that are coming to the network.
Is Raps and Receipts coming back? Or that's
So that's a collaboration. So we got Fourside Presents a live performance series. So in October, I forgot the dates, but within a week or so's time, you will see Raps and Receipts guest performances on Fourside Presents.
Go. So I miss shows so much, bro.
Yeah, so we got Classic Poet who did a performance, Golden Kisses, and AOD3. So those are the 3 acts that performed. Again, salute to Russ, salute to Dada, man. What they've done for Westchester through Raps and Receipts, second to none, man. Second to none. So I was really happy I was able to connect with them. And that's another play that was going back to the summer. That was something that was in the works since like July. Just developing this concept, laying it out. When we met up last Saturday, that was a reshoot. That was a reshoot.
Wait, y'all weren't a part of the shows that they threw before COVID?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
No.
Okay.
That was all Raps and Receipts and whoever else may have been involved with them. But this is like our first time really working together. So I'm really
fire.
happy with how it's gonna go. I'm happy for everybody that was there. And it's gonna be a great time, man. For real. It benefits everybody.
Hell yeah.
For real, man. Hell yeah.
Facts. Okay. So those are the things you're excited about. What are some of the things within Fourside that you dread doing?
Honestly, nothing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed so much. Like it's a lot
fire.
of fun.
That's
It's a lot
dope.
of fun. Thank you, man. It's a lot of fun doing what we do at Fourside, bro. It's a lot of fun being the leader. It's a lot of fun, speaking with my guys and AK and Wills and telling them to play and getting them more involved. Like I, for months, was telling them about like, yo, I think you guys should have your own show as a spinoff off the podcast. And the show just came out, episode 1 of In the Ring. That's their own show. Them being involved with Fourside Music, Gianni, who we both, know very well. Salute to G, my
Shout
guy.
out Gianni. This
Always and
podcast
forever.
would not be where it is today if it was not for Gianni. So shout out
Yes,
to
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. G being my guy that I can speak to. And G, honestly, I call him in all seriousness the most valuable component for Fourside. Because outside of what he does visually and all this stuff, the fact that I have somebody that's on the same wavelength as me creatively and can also bring to life what I'm thinking, and he's willing to listen to me even as I'm rambling my ideas and explaining why, and I'm looking like a mad genius. That's why I easily call him the most valuable component. Because, again, it's that aspect of, just to go back to the other topic, about working with others and being humble. It's like Fourside was gonna go regardless, especially with me leading the way. But G took us to another level.
When did you start locking in with Gianni?
So G came to us March of 2019.
Oh, it's been a minute.
Yeah, so I think I had asked him to be on the show on a podcast episode because we have mutual friends, and Gianni also went to Manhattanville. I went to Manhattanville too, but I went for a year before transferring. And G was just like, yo, bro, I really like what you're doing, and I want to come on board and help. And since March of 2019, G's been my go-to videographer. Like, that's my guy. Like, it's very rare to find a Fourside shoot, minus the one shot from my iPhone, that G hasn't cooked up. That's my guy.
I remember you weren't a part of it with the last Raps and Receipt show before COVID. G was there and he shot like a little like.
And we got some special stuff coming out with that stuff.
Oh, for real?
We had a call.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened with that.
Yeah, we crazy enough, and like, I think it was maybe a couple weeks ago at most. Again, I'm just at my laptop, mad genius stuff. Okay, what's next? Update the calendar releases. New concepts, update them, delete some, And I was thinking back, and the ring hit me. I was like, yo, Gianni got some footage from the last, like, Raps and Receipt show. And I remember him telling me, like, yo, bro, I got some really good stuff tonight, and I think I want to do something different with this. And this was back in February, maybe?
Yeah, it's a long ass.
Yeah, definitely, like, top of the new year, you feel me? And I remember hitting up G, like, yo, bro, remember that footage you said you had from, like, that last Raps and Receipt show? It was the first show that our last group of interns went to. Salute to Ariana and Skylar.
Yeah, I met them all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, bro, let's do something with it. So, like, 2 nights later, we got on, like, an impromptu Zoom call, like, 9 in the evening. And he showed me the footage. And we got a plan with it. That within a month or so, it's coming out.
Hell yeah.
Some really dope stuff.
That's fire.
For real, man. For real.
I got a couple more questions for you for tonight. A couple more written down. One that was just on the top of my mind, though. I meant to ask you this earlier. As you said, you locked in with Will, what, December 2015?
Yeah, Wills. Yeah, December
Wills.
2015.
Okay. That's extremely rare that you found someone and it's worked for all this time.
Yeah.
Like, that shit is impressive.
Yeah, man.
Like, what do you think is the thing in y'all relationship that makes it work?
Yeah.
For all the struggle, all the time where you're working, you don't see anything happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it that keeps it together?
Man, I think with Wills, I think the relationship with Wills comes down to just, if there's one word, it's perspective. I think the perspective comes in the fact that Wills knows what's going on or knew what was going on, and so did I. And whenever we decided there was a move to be made, we made it. So I remember towards the fall or so of 2017, we wasn't doing a damn thing with the podcast. Like, we was very sporadic with when we recorded. Like, sometimes we would go a month or two without recording. Because they were just like, hey, man, are you free this weekend? Or whatever? No, I'm not. Okay. And we just never revisited it. But it came down to at that point, like, yo, bro, like, we got to make this happen. Like, let's try to record every week. So that started happening.
How long was it between the time that you started and between the time you said, like, yo, let's do this shit for real?
Nearly a year and a half. So if the first episode was January 2016, then it took to maybe like September of 2017. Because we were very sporadic. If we was the podcast that recorded every week, we would be like in the 200s easily, instead of episode 134, which actually just dropped today.
Hell yeah.
Episode 134 of the Fourside Podcast.
Run it up.
Hell yeah, indeed. Could be found on your favorable DSPs, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
You heard it here first.
But yeah, like, it started from that. And then we just started meeting up every week. And I think even with just the grand plans that's been happening with Fourside over the last 3 years since then, I mean, they're really, everything that you've seen for the most part, with me being the leader voice, the face, that's all me. But with what Wills has helped with is the fact that he understands and agrees with it, and he contributes his feedback as well when he sees the vision as well. And he's also great with his role. So there's certain things that I can do because of my talents and abilities, along with time commitment, that he can't. But it also works with what he can do. There's times where within our working relationship, it wasn't the best. It was still good, but it wasn't the best because it's like, damn, like, me leading and me asking you to do something that you necessarily can't do because it's just not in you to do it. So instead of me being mad at you about it, it came down to, okay, what can make it work for Wills? And now it's the same concept I took to AK, Gianni, Taylor, and anybody else. It's to the point where now, instead of me just dropping a whole bunch of responsibilities at your desk and going, okay, do it because I'm doing it, it's no, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? You see that too? Cook up. Let's do it.
How did you learn to lead like that?
Just practice. It takes time. I think it even goes back to my experience, because I also work with kids. So I work with kids as a coach and as a teacher. So you just start learning that everybody works differently. Everybody works differently. Everybody reacts differently. So once you learn that, you understand how to connect with everybody, it makes it easier to be like, oh, all right, guys, here's the overall team goal here. Here's the overall team concept. And that's what we got with Fourside right now. So where, again, I'm that leading face, and trust me, it's like everything you see, you know Arden is involved in some way, shape, or form. But it's easier when I'm able to bring my guys involved in certain things, because regardless if their involvement is not the same as mine, it's you contributed at the end of the day. Where before it was, yo, you got to do as much as I'm doing. No. You need to do the best what you can do. It's no different in sports. You know, not everybody on the court can score. There's going to be some cats who are going to be the go-to scorer. Somebody's going to need to be a great defender. Somebody's going to need to be a great playmaker. Somebody's going to need to do this, that, and the third. As long as everybody understands their role and accepts it and does it to the best of their ability, I don't give a damn about credit. As long as we win, I'm good. Like, I don't need for folks to know. And that's why really, if like folks really understand, I'm not, even though folks know I'm making the moves at Fourside, you see my page. Am I really at the forefront of everything? Do I constantly put myself out there like, yeah, created by Arden. Arden did this.
I see. I just glanced at it very quickly, but every post has a different face on it. Or just at least from what I saw. I didn't go too deep.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. And it's also just the feel like it's of a team.
Yeah.
And I run the Instagram page. It's just the feel of a team. Like, it's all of us together. I don't need the credit all the time. I'm past the point in my media career where it needs to be all me.
Is that how it was in the beginning?
For sure.
Yeah.
Working by myself, wanting everything, da-da-da-da-da, like, yeah. But at the point, it's like, I don't care because I know, and you know, and the people that are in the know, they know what I do. They know what I do. They know I'm nice with it. So I don't need to be all public with it. I just care
Facts.
about us growing and pushing forward. So I get just as much happiness really from others. Woz and AK launched their new show. I was happy as hell. Interns been cooking up, doing what they do. I'm happy as hell. Gianni do something that's fire and he gets the praise. I'm happy as well.
Facts.
I'm all about the team. We need to win. Everybody knows what time it is when it comes to me. I don't need to speak. Everybody knows what it is. They know I'm that dude. I'm that nice with it. But I don't need to constantly speak about it. It's about the team. It's bigger than me.
I think it's major. I feel like it's really easy to get lost in needing validation that leads to bad decision making.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, that's why it works with Wills. That's why it works with AK, like Gianni, everybody. It's very easy to work with people when everybody's selfless and understands what to do, and they're committed to doing what they can do. Long story short.
Facts. Shit. All right. This interview's getting kind of long, so I'm going to just pull out the last couple questions we have here. What do you see as the end vision for Fourside?
Us being the Netflix.
You did say that.
Yep, us being the Netflix of
Netflix
hip hop and the
music.
culture. Yeah, for real, bro. Us just being that, man. Us being that go-to destination for media. Us being that go-to destination for music. Being an informative and yet entertaining platform in general. You know, just being something that even if this fails, I want somebody that wants to work in media, especially from Westchester, to be like, yo, they may have failed, but I see what they were doing, and I think I can do it too. Because
Just to
I'm really
inspire somebody.
Yeah, because I'm really all about trying to connect Westchester, bro. Like, for real. Like, even this right here, I'm from Central Westchester, if I'm getting it right geographically. I'm from that White Plains. I'm from White Plains, but grew up in Yonkers and New Rochelle. Westchester, as much as people claim Westchester and loves Westchester, there's still a divide. Especially when it comes to, we talking northern Westchester, when we're talking Peekskill and Poughkeepsie and all the nearby areas. So that's why for me, it's like, yeah, man, I'm coming up here because it's a big deal to let people know, man, I'm here. I'm tapping in. It ain't just, yo, Westchester, but from the cities I named. No. Poughkeepsie, what's up? Peekskill, what's up? I'm here.
Poughkeepsie is 845, but...
Okay, well, sorry. Either way. Peekskill, what's up? Everybody that's in the area. Armonk, Blaircliff Minor, I'm here. I want to connect. That's what makes New York City, New York City. It ain't just, yo, New York City, but for Brooklyn. Oh, this is New York City, but for Queens. It's all the boroughs. It's everybody involved. Of course, there's representation for those places, just like there's representation for within Westchester. But I'm trying to make sure that me, Arden, and Fourside, my lovely platform, we're bridging the gap between everybody. So the people in Peekskill and elsewhere can feel just as connected to the cause and to pushing Westchester forward the same way everybody else in those other cities and beyond are connected to.
That's fine.
It's a big deal, man. Not many people really talk about that.
Talk about...
I think just the true needing to connect all of us. Because it's so easy for people when they talk Westchester, but they are just talking about those, I guess, I don't want to use the word marquee, but like marquee cities, like the Yonkers to Mount Vernon, the White Plains to New Rochelle. It's very easy for people to say that, but it stings them. But no, there's a lot of other towns.
That's a fact.
Elmsford, Tarrytown, Arsley, you feel me? Like there's plenty of other people involved here. Pleasantville that want to feel connected. Like,
that's a fact. Do you feel there's any resistance from people to get connected with the rest of Westchester?
Easily.
Really?
Easily, for sure. For sure. And I think that's why that's stopping us from taking that next step. Westchester does not need any part of New York City to reach the next step. Westchester is unique.
You really feel that way?
100%.
I know so many. I can't even tell you the amount of people that's like, yo, when I get in Atlanta, when I get to New York, when I get to LA.
I get that. And here's the thing, though. Even with that, I'm not saying you can't tap in with those places, right? Of course you could tap in and do what you do, but in reality, that's different than being like, yo, I need to go there to pop off. No. You can pop off and build something out of here. That's what it means for us. New York City was able to do that because New York City knows what it means to unite like Voltron and come together. Atlanta, LA, anything, Toronto, everybody knows what it means to lock in and to represent. You feel me? Even though they have their own parts that they want to just be tied to. And I think it's the same thing with Westchester. Again, I'm not gonna go naming the whole freaking towns again, but it's like everybody has their own connection to the towns and neighborhoods. I totally get that. But everybody has to know what it means. If you're in the music space, if you're in the media space, you got to understand that right now for Westchester, if you're somebody that is truly in tune, we will never have, and I'm willing to put my last dollar on this, we will never have a greater opportunity than what's happening now in the foreseeable future to make things pop. Everything is literally aligning. The music scene is bubbling with so much great talent when before then, if you look at the last 20 to 30 years, it was always one or some people at a time.
I will say that, like I said earlier, I've only been doing this for only 3.5 years, so I don't have the experience of being in the scene for too long. But from what I'm able to see, it seems like this is the most amount of pride for Westchester that there's ever been. You know? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, and I'm in the same boat as you. Like, lived there my entire life, but yeah, really the last 3 years or so, or 4 years, I've been more in tune with the music scene. And it's just like, there's people at the top that, trust me, are ready to blow because they're that talented and everything checks off the board for them. But it's no longer from what I used to assume as a kid where it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense why Rough Riders are the only ones to go, or Mary J, or Heavy D and the Boys, or P Rock and them, or Brand Nubian. It's just those guys, and okay, what else is after that? Westchester's at the point where, again, there's certain guys that I look at the top, like a Nico Brim, a Steely Leone, a Kenny Shane, a Cascade D, that I look at and go, yeah, they check the box. Like, they're going to take the next step. But it's different than the past in which it was only them. There's plenty of other people, and in all seriousness, you included, that are pushing Westchester forward to the point where it's like, yo, it is about to be scary hours for the business. Whether we talking music, media, fashion, events, folks that are just in the know, there's so much talent, and that's why through Fourside, I am trying to play my part. My team is trying to play their part and understanding folks that, yo, we have to bridge the gap and be together in this. Because if we miss out on this window, then we have nobody other than ourselves to blame. Like, this is it. The time is now. Like, we have to strike right now. Let's go.
Talk about it.
Yeah, man, for real.
Yeah. All right. Last two questions. What has been the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout your experience running Fourside?
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
That's my favorite quote when it comes to working. Consistency is key. More than anything, folks have to understand what it means to be consistent. Regardless of what is your frequencies to releases, you got to stay consistent. That's how, you establish your own rhythm and comfort in whatever business you're in. And it also helps you when you're trying to build and connect with an audience that's trying to figure out what you do. So, like, again, Poncho, what I'm telling you is not like I haven't said it in private or to anybody else. What's working for you so far is the fact that you are incredibly consistent. Incredibly consistent. And that's something that you don't want to lose out on. You're incredibly consistent because your frequency right now is on a daily basis. But that's still a great skill to have, even if it was weekly, the monthly, the bi-monthly. Folks have to understand what it means to be consistent. Because why? The more consistent you are, the more comfortable you are in the space you're in.
Facts.
And it helps you with understanding, okay, my audience is going to connect with me because sooner than later, they're going to recognize this is what I'm offering to the table. And you get to run up the numbers because the numbers add up. You keep doing what you're doing, numbers add up. You'll have that multi-thousand, potentially that multi-million platform because you've been releasing, you've been cooking up. You don't got to worry about the quality, by the way, if your quality is already good. You don't got to worry about that at all.
That's a fact. And that comfort thing is real. It took a fucking minute for me to get comfortable doing this shit, but just the more you do it, the more I did it. That's what happened. Last question. You really just kind of answered this too. What advice would you have for upcoming artists in the area?
Besides being consistent, I'll give a new piece of advice.
All right.
Besides being consistent, I would say network.
Talk about it.
Seriously, man. I feel like, especially in our neck of the woods, a lot of y'all artists, bro, be sleeping on or not even checking for artists that are incredibly talented. That, let me just say, there are certain artists that are about to be out of here. Like, seriously, they're going to be out of here. Their lives about to change in a matter of weeks, months. Not because, oh, I actually know something, but because it's common sense if you follow that artist. It's like, yeah, this man, this woman's about to be out of here. So a lot of you guys need to know what it means to this network. Just to tap in with somebody, man. It doesn't even have to result in a song. Just connect with folks. Talk. See what's happening, man. Because a lot of y'all are ignoring people that are really cooking up right now and doing what they do. And by the time you get to them, it's going to be too late. And it's going to suck because it's like, yo, you dead ass could have reached out to them on a genuine tip while they were on the come up, when they were more likely to want to reciprocate that same energy with you. But at this point, it's like, no.
I was thinking about this yesterday for like an hour straight. No cap. I'm so serious. That's crazy, yeah.
For real, but yeah, man, network. Connect with people. Again, everybody, it happens everywhere, so I don't want to like try to poke holes at Westchester, but in Westchester in particular, a lot of artists just be in their bubble and want to keep to themselves and their crew because, yeah, we're such and such, and I'm such and such, and I'm just here, and I don't really need anybody to do this and that. You can have your pride, big dog, but
you can't do this shit alone.
You can't do it on your own. And, hey, if there's anything we both know, you never know when you need a favor. You never know what that one connection with somebody can lead to. So network, like I said, man, it doesn't have to lead to a song. If it does, great. The talent here is so rich. I'll be happy. You already know Fourside going to add it to the playlist to share it. But it's for your sake you should. Because, again, there's some artists that, again, they're about to be out of here. And a lot of you out there, especially those I know, y'all been told who to reach out to. Y'all being ignorant and don't want to reach out. I ain't helping you. When our artist blows up and you reach out to us or anybody on the team, sorry, no help. We try to tell you. Try to tell you. For real, man.
Holy shit. With that being said, this has been a special episode of Cookups and Convos, episode 27, with my guy Arden in the building. Could you tell them where to find you on social media?
Yes, sir, man. At Fourside Network.
Yes, sir.
At Fourside Network on all the socials.
Boom.
Visit the website, foursideny.com. If you're looking for us, spell out the number 4. Like a lot of people type in like the number 4 and then side and doesn't come up. Yeah. Actually spell it out. So FOUR side, SIDE, and then network comes up. So you'll find us. Same thing for the website, foursideny.com. Spell it out. Don't just do the 4 then side. It does not work. For real. Don't.
You heard it here first. So, if you have any opinions on any of the questions asked or any of the answers, I'd love to read about them in the comments below. Yeah. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe. It helps way more than you may imagine. And, yeah, that's what it is. Fourside in the building.
I got to do this. Donations. Donations. Gifts. More gifts. Donations. Nah, Poncho, this is dope, man. Salute to you, man.
Facts,
keep rocking.
Man. We out here. Good shit, G.
Nah, for real, that was dope, man.
Yeah, facts. Dope interview.
Yeah, that was a great pace.
Signing out.
Whatever. That was a great pace.
Yeah, it was.
Please be on. All right, we're good.